I played the Ark Raiders Server Slam, which ran over the weekend. I played with Avexia and Coastal City. Thank you so much, the two of them, for playing with me in our little squad of 3. But yeah, this ran over the weekend. It's an extraction shooter from Embark Studios, who did the shooter called The Fall? No.
Sorry, I can't help you.
The finals.
Finals,
Oh.
okay.
They did the finals, but they've been working on this for about 6 years apparently, and it really shows. It is a game set in a dystopian future. Humans have been forced underground by the machines that have taken over. In this case, they're called the Ark. And then, obviously, it's your job. You go to the surface. You run around with up to 2 other squad mates. You recover materials and resources, and then you try to successfully extract back below underground, where you will then store, build, and upgrade all your gear to do future runs. That formula, the extraction shooter, I think is it's sort of solidified itself now as a very popular genre these days. And there's probably not a lot that Ark is doing differently with its take, but it is the polish and it is the vibe in this game. It's taken everything that those games have learned and has really refined it into what I'm going to say is probably going to be a very popular game. The server tests and the preview sessions have all been kicked up a whole bunch of noise, and everyone's really, really loving this vibe. I think it's going to be probably the top of the extraction shooters. Well, it's going to sit under Tarkov because Tarkov's just been around for too long, but I think it's got legs. It's probably hard to sort of not start with the aesthetic of this game, which is what I really love. It's got a very strong identity with this sort of retro futuristic design. And I think the reason I love it is there's a really strong influence from Simon Stallenhag, who's the Scandinavian artist who did those beautiful landscapes that are sort of Scandinavian landscapes littered with sort of robotic skeletons. And
his
alien
art is where
crafts.
that bad movie
So,
came from.
Tales from the Loop was the series, and then Electric State, unfortunately, were 2 pieces of.
Unfortunately.
Well, it's a shocker.
Great
but
art, bad
they're-
movie.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
2 pieces of media that were influenced and referenced his artwork in particular.
Right.
But he does those sort of barren Scando landscapes with just like a cool skeletal sort of statuesque of an overgrown robot or an alien craft, and like in that really cool art style. That's what is in this, and it's what they kind of use as their palette. And it's cool. The single map that we played on in here, as the only one available at the time, has these like sort of eerie, beautiful remnants of a war between robots and humans. Obviously the robots won, but it's all littered around the landscape, and it does a really good job of setting the mood and making you feel very outnumbered and very weak as a little puny fleshy human up on the surface, where everything else patrolling is just going to kick your ass. And it sets the mood that makes you scavenge, you hunker down, you creep, you don't run around boldly. You do, in those moments of reaching the surface, you feel very vulnerable very quickly. And you should be cautious because the Ark really kick your butt. They are really quite terrifying. These little roly guys are the smallest of the enemies, but you've got you've got drones that fly around, hover around. You've got large-legged sort of spider drones that walk around called leapers, and some really huge creatures as well, which are that's endgame stuff. We need a whole squad for that. But
How much is the whole squad?
so there's 3. It's 3 of you in total.
Oh,
but
cool.
you can. I'll get to a point. You can try and buddy up with other squads.
Oh, cool.
You can try. So
How
yeah,
successful you are.
it's a beautiful game in the sense that I think we're all quite sick of that sort of drab, grey kind of wasteland vibes that games like Tarkov and stuff have. There's a weather system here that can lead to some stunning, beautiful in-engine sunsets, all that kind of stuff.
I love
Cool.
gunmetal grey and
it
tetanus
is-
shots.
it
No,
is
because I was
pretty.
about to say like a lot of what I'm seeing is like the outfits are quite colourful, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of
It's
looking
It
still
has
the same.
flashes of color and design
Cool,
and
good
beauty
to
in
know.
it, but yes, it is still a dirty, grimy future. That aforementioned AI kind of robot-y, that thing that you saw up there. Apparently, they used machine learning for all the AI in the game, which gives it a really kind of eerie. Whether or not how much of it is actually in the game, it feels quite eerie. So, for example, the drones have 4 propellers, and you shoot one out, you can see it kind of compensate and hover, and kind of it lands on the ground. It will try to sort of steady itself and right itself and hover back over to you. The creatures with multiple legs, when you shoot one off, it really wigs out, but in a way that looks unnatural and tries to kind of, it flip around. Apparently that's something that they spent a long time retraining the AI to do.
Oh, it's
and
the only
it'll-
good AI you can have in games.
well, it's one of those things that they sort of set and forget it and saw where it could go. And so the way it navigates the terrain and it moves around feels janky. It looks janky, but
Yeah.
feels creepy.
It's a cool idea as
Yeah.
well because it's so
Yeah.
appropriate for this world, which is
Totally.
AI has killed humanity.
It's thematically correct
It's
for
the
what
thing it's
you're
gonna do
doing.
now.
So it's not
and
just
look
like
how much it perseveres.
And it
That's it.
learns
That's
its actions.
terrifying.
versus like the Euphoria engine back in the day of seeing wobbly humans just try and grab something as they fall over. That was a sort of like a funny thing to look at. Whereas here, yeah, it feels really off-putting when you see something with 3 legs kind of keep flipping itself over towards you because it just wants to kill you. It's a cool use of it. And whether or not it's learning as the game continues, I don't know. But we found it quite unsettling.
Yeah.
The other feature, obviously, is the PvP. It's the other squads that are up there every time. So again, like your Tarkovs or even your DayZs, a lot of it is about hearing and seeing other groups doing the same thing as you are.
Yeah, are you cool? Are you cool?
Friendly, that's what you call out.
Why would you want to hurt other people?
Well,
when
you'll
all the
find out because
robots
they
are
have the
against
gear.
you?
They've got the stuff, and they're hungry for resources.
That's crazy.
They are desperate to extract as well. That's something that a lot of extraction
So the
shooters.
robots are also turning people against
Yeah.
each other.
Of
as well.
course.
We're
And
out
the
here trying
way-
to make friends. and
Something
That's why I'm
been-
so good at Fortnite Delulu mode.
Well, something that's been established in extraction shooters is a limited exit point that's timed that turn off one by one. So there might be, I think, only 4 exits, and over the course of the 25 minutes to half an hour, that exit closes in 10 minutes. That exit closes in 20 minutes. That exit closes, so that's the last one open. So it naturally funnels everyone to a choke point. So if you've stayed longer and you've found better gear, you're going to run into high-level players as you get to that
Right.
final choke point. It's great. It's in a lot of other games.
I would simply hide in a bush.
Well, you can here, and that works as
I
well.
die.
I'm
I
done
shoot
now.
myself.
I just die.
if you don't extract, you lose everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's the goal. It's you want to take everything down with you. But again, that's a good reason to try and call people out and be friends with them, that sort of stuff. We got fortunate enough. I've got a quick clip to show, which shows a little bit of how trying to buddy up with people doesn't work, and then how it does because the servers closed on the Monday night where we streamed this, and people watching know that we got into the last server before it closed, and so obviously we decided not to extract. There was no point, and the way the timer runs out at the very end of it is a huge comet comes down and smashes into the planet. That
That's
happens
kinda
every
fun.
round if you don't extract, and so we actually found the last group and said, hey, we're going to go to the tallest point and watch this together. So Josh, if you wouldn't
It's
mind
funny
playing
that
the clip.
big comet is the ending point because I was not expecting this game. I was expecting dinosaurs to be around.
yeah, right?
Wrong arm.
I think it's a rocket. It's a rocket shot, like by a
Nuclear
silo. It's a
winter.
nuke going off.
Common
But
rocket.
Josh, if you'd be so kind.
There's definitely a second guy, but if you want to run in and pretend that you're
Okay.
friendly,
I'll go,
I
you gotta
can
stay
shoot
hidden.
them in the back of the head.
You go. Hello. Hello, friendly. Oh, no friendly, no friendly.
Not friendly, not friendly.
Oh, Jesus.
oh,
Could have said that before you shot me. Oh, friendly. You're Last like, who the server, fuck's last server, friendly? dude. Friendly. Yeah, you're friendly. Last server,
Yes.
man. These are about to get turned off. Let's. Friendly. Oh, awesome. Oh my god, where did you get that from? Liam, what are you grabbing? Does anyone know any other songs?
Now Wonderwall.
They gave us flutes, so we all played flutes and danced on the top of the last spot. What's happening? Whoa!
Oh, that's such a.
So we found a totally high-spec crew that were with us on the last server, and they yelled friendly back. And again, it's that little vibe of going, hey, everything's fine, we're all good, we're all buddies here. And yeah, not since DayZ have I really run into versions of that happening.
oh,
Yeah.
it's just like the Delulu mode in Fortnite. It only happens on the weekends, and you go in solo, and then you have to make a squad of strangers
That's
using
so fun.
like voice chat. And the amount of times I would run up to people like, I'm nice. Don't shoot. And it worked most of the
everyone
time.
who watched the stream knows that's not how it always went. And yeah, like that clip in the intro that you saw, that was me backstabbing someone that got drawn out by Coastal and Avexia. So
Crazy.
sorry for that. I should finish, like, this was the server test, so there's still a lot of features that weren't explored in it. It was basically a beta. Most of those features that I didn't get a chance to play with are all to do with the hub, the main menu when you go back from the surface underground. That's all handled via menus. It's kind of like these cool dynamic menus that have characters that are traders. I really like that instead of running around a hub zone and like having to find merchants and that kind of vibe. I thought it was handled really well. It's really clean. It's really well done. But it's an extraction shooter, so there is a crap ton of stuff that you're picking up that you don't know what it does, how to use it, what its value, its rarity, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That is just a given with these games. You have to learn that over time. So it is one of those things that jumping into it at the beginning, if you're not with other people, it does feel very overwhelming. You look at a whole bunch of junk and go like, what do I do with any of this? The
Right.
second it starts turning into gear that you can turn into weapons that you take up with you and you get a good run, that's when the hooks are in. You go like, I see this loop, I want to do this more. And again, that just happens with extraction shooters. Here, it is probably, I would say, more accessible than Tarkov. It's
I
better
was gonna
it's better
say-
handled than that.
I'm definitely not the crowd this is for. Like, I'm a chronic single player story girly.
Yep.
Extraction shooters have never been my game. I'm not particularly good at working with other people, but I'm deeply trusting of everyone, which is always why I get shot first.
Look, I think you'll be surprised.
Do you think this is a game that is trying to make that more accessible, or is it just like, this is people that we already know you're gonna love this? Get in.
I think to your point, I think this is a better entry point than Tarkov. I played a lot of DMZ on COD, which was an extraction thing, but that's gone the way of the dodo now. They shut that down. And so I think this will be a really accessible and very appealing version of an extraction shooter that I found the gameplay itself is super tight. Like the shooting, the movement, the third person camera, everything was really good. Everyone I was playing it with, particularly Avexia and Coastal, were like, we were complimenting the game as we played it. We're like, the movement, the weightiness, the inertia, it all feels really polished. And so it doesn't feel exploitable in the way that people have been playing these games could get really twitchy and sweaty at. Like, it still feels like, again, like a Goldilocks level of like, this has enough appeal both in the aesthetic and also in your first extraction shooter that I think it'll actually do really well commercially. That's just my guess on it, and I think the way the hype's been worked up for it and the way people are liking I think it's a good mix. It's not a zombie game, it's not just distinctly enemy soldiers and humans. I think it's a good setting of this. Well, it's kill AI, and everyone's like, well, not kill AI, but it's like kill the robots.
these
and
AI.
it feels like a great mix of genre and setting. And so yeah, I do genuinely look. Most people will want to kill you out there. So when you break through and you get that moment of going, hey, everything's fine, we're friends, and you make a squad. Avexia made like a best bud on it who was like sharing all their gear, and they left.
That's so cute.
They exchanged usernames and were like, he briefed me on that while I jumped in. He said, I've just
Stranger
made...
danger, everyone. Just be aware of stranger danger.
But,
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, as I said, and Coastal backed me up on this. I was like, I would love to lure someone out. And that's what happened. Some guy came over, they said friendly. He hadn't seen me. I crept around the hilltop. I saw them talking. He had his back to me. I'm like, video game. Back of the head.
Yeah.
Shot him. Great. Can't tell if you were bored by my story or shocked. You just both went like that. But yeah, it's those moments are memorable. They're unforgettable. They've happened since DayZ. I just think now they happen in a game that is super polished, super
Yeah.
shiny. And I've been thinking about wanting to play this all week since they shut it down.
I'm kind of curious. I think a few people have mentioned there was an article that came out earlier today
Yes.
about. Having read it, I'm a little bit curious if that was a theoretical reference to the use of generative AI going into this game.
Yeah, I
'cause
think
it
it
seemed like it
was.
was an I'm hoping it stays theoretical.
The conversation was with one of the lead developers that they were talking about the machine learning for the AI, which I think
Yeah.
we've discussed is something that's being used as a tool.
Different than
They have said
generative.
it's used as a tool to shorthand the amount of work you would have to put in it because they run them through millions of times to get better at walking over a rock. And so in that
Yeah.
way, it's both fascinating and it's shrinking the
It's
development
the same
time.
sort of AI that the aliens have in Aliens.
Well, it's kind of the AI that they're using for the dog robots in real life to do backflips and stuff. Like it's something that is probably impossible that a human couldn't do. The conversation got onto a little bit of
Yeah.
design to do with one of the weapons, and I think that developer said, "Sure, there's a world in which we plug in the input from people's input on
YouTube
YouTube
videos and
and
stuff.
we help design a weapon using AI's input on that." It wasn't a decision. It's nothing they're putting in the game. I think they're just saying they were open to it. I don't think that's great, but they're not saying they have made that decision or that they're going
Yeah.
ahead with any more AI designer stuff. They were just saying we're open to embracing it. And I guess if this is their first example of it in the game, that shows a better moral compass than a lot of people out there who are exploiting it to just completely ditch their workforce. I think they've said they're a limited sized team and they've done a lot more than they could because of it. I watched a little behind the scenes with the dev team, and they all looked wonderful. Like they all went like there's like a 70-year-old man in a mine shaft firing weapons with a microphone to get the cool echo-ness of the world. like
Sick.
Thankfully, he was already deaf, so they just send him down there.
they all went
That's
like
just
on
his day
they all
job.
went on massive hikes around the globe to get all the reference imagery and all that kind of research. I don't know. I can't speak for the team. I think this was just a discussion topic that came up. Who knows? I can't say one way or the other, but the AI that we've referenced in it, I think, has been done in a clever, interesting way. It hasn't just shorthand some design or something like that, which we saw in things like Marathon and those other bad stories.
That was stolen art, not.
Sorry, that was stolen art, wasn't
Yeah.
it? But I think it had been pushed through some AI image at re-output, or maybe not. Anyway, so yeah, either way, it comes out in 2 weeks. I will be playing it. I'd love to hit up the rest of the back pocketeers if anyone's keen, because I know a whole bunch of them were happily playing it along, and it was
Yeah,
good.
what was, sorry, I'm curious.
Comes out in 2 weeks. It costs $60. It's on PC and console. It's crossplay, and yeah,
Great. And what was the cock and balls stuff?
Yeah, what was that about? I wanted
What was
to
the
talk
cock
there's
and
about
no
balls?
balls. You put balls in.
But
in
where's
the,
the
Put the
cock?
balls in.
So
Oh, it was
when
nuts,
you
right?
when you go back to the main menu, you've got your workbench area, and you slowly buy more workbenches to do things, and you also have a rooster there for some reason. And your rooster is one of those things that just gives you basic mats every so often. So it's like
Right.
it's the way of the game going. If you haven't been playing, here are some basic materials. The rooster has scavenged them in between rounds. So you click on your cock. And you inspect your cock, and your cock has found material for you. So always check your cock in
Yeah.
between rounds, because there's stuff to farm.
There's something in your cock.
There's something in your cock every
get it.
round when you click on it. Now the balls, that was just you, Ruby.
Ad break?
Yeah. Anywho,